What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that pisses me off so much, and it's called corporate greed. I'm sure a couple of you are probably already familiar with this term, but if not, that is all right. We're going to talk about what it currently means in 2025 and how it affects us all. But if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. I have a grand total of 3 subscribers. 2 of those are my grandma, and one of those is my third YouTube account. So anyway, it would mean a lot if you guys just hit the subscribe button. You don't even have to come back to the channel if you don't want. I just want to see those numbers go up. But anyway, corporate greed. What does that mean? So I guess the thing that I see scream corporate greed the most in 2025 is that these companies, specifically larger companies, let's look at cars, for example. Toyota is going to raise their prices, blame it on some external factor, and then start raking in shit tons of money. So this example in particular dates back 5 years ago to when COVID was going on. All of a sudden, when COVID was going on, the news in the headlines was saying, there is a chip shortage for cars. So all of a sudden, Toyota is going to start producing less cars and giving out less cars to their dealerships, so it looks like there is some type of shortage of cars. So in inverse, if you are looking for a car, you're kind of feeling fear as a consumer. Maybe I can't get my car as soon as I had hoped for. I hope I don't have to wait forever to get this thing. And so the normal consumer is willing to pay a higher price for that car. So in 2020, this started as just, bidding wars over particular cars. 2 or 3 customers are going to be bidding against each other to get that car, and they're going to sell it for, $20,000 more, let's say, for example. And all of a sudden, that dealership makes $20,000 extra dollars, and they have to pay a certain amount of that towards Toyota. So maybe you're thinking in your head, all right, you're just going crazy. You're, looking at these high prices. They make sense to me. But let me tell you this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stock market. The large cap stocks in particular, companies like Coca-Cola, Ford, Chevy. I mean, there's hundreds of companies listed in the S&P 500. And these companies have been recording record profits every single year since COVID started. And what this means is that people's stocks are going to go up. Great. That makes sense to me. But when we're showing that these companies are having 20 or 30%, gain on their stock just because they're releasing these profit loss statements saying that they've made shit tons of money in the last years, it makes the stock go up. That's good. The boomers are happy, right? But if you're in your 20s, 30s, maybe you're a teenager, I don't know, and you can't even get a car for less than 30 grand, I mean, there's a definite problem here. People our age don't even have as much money in the stocks as these boomers have. And so even though the stock price went up 20 or 30%, that's great. But as a necessity, maybe something like electricity, now I'm paying so much more out the ass just to have my electricity bill paid for the month. I mean, this corporate greed has gotten out of hand. We'll see this stuff happen at, stores like Walmart, Target. We'll see it at, like I said, the car dealership. I can't even go to McDonald's and have one meal for less than $20. And I live in Kansas. It's supposed to be cheap here. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably even worse in cities like, Texas, California. I mean, these bigger cities are going to have a lot more money that they're charging for these things. It's insane. All right, last example. I saw this one on Facebook a couple months ago, but somebody had shared a screenshot of their cart, their order on Walmart.com. They had ordered in 2020, they pulled up an old order on their account, and in 2020, they bought, 15 particular items, and they had paid $80 for these items. Now, in 2025, they hit reorder on that same order from 5 years ago, where they paid, less than $100 for their shit, And in 2025, the same exact items, the same exact sizes had cost $250 for that same exact order. You're getting the same stuff, right? And they're charging just an astronomical amount of money because they know people need to buy that stuff like groceries, and they're going to buy it, and they're going to pay whatever price is listed on the shelf. And so now Walmart made a shit ton of money. Highland Milk made a shit ton of money. But on the converse, everybody got poorer who were buying these items. And it's not even the inflation of the numbers that they're charging for their shit. It's the shrinkflation too. We're paying more money, but we're getting less. So the other day I went to Walmart again. It was my fiance's birthday and I was getting some wrapping paper to wrap her present in. And anyway, I buy, $6 worth of wrapping paper, bring it home, pop it open, ready to wrap the present, and there is not even 2 feet of fucking wrapping paper in this shit. So I could wrap like one item that I bought for her, but I mean, it was not enough wrapping paper. 5 years ago, I could have bought the same shit and it would have had enough to last me, 20 birthdays, right? There would have been way much more wrapping paper in there. So anyway, I go back to the store and I really look at this and I really analyze what I bought. All the wrapping papers were the exact same company, and what they did is they put these caps on the end so you couldn't really see how much paper was in there, and they beefed up the inside of the roll so it felt thicker and heavier, but you're getting way less paper. So again, a prime example of shrinkflation, but we see this, with food, with restaurants, with, everyday items, etc. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent here, but I've been talking for 7 minutes, so I want to hear what you guys think about all this in the comments. Go ahead and let me know if you've experienced this or what you think about all these price hikes and shrinkflation. But anyway, if you made it this far, like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.